abusia for emabunyina ajo emama kwaba aha my lawyer my counselor Jumedi so live on TV XYZ and then you san hia mu biom nyame adom na ye nyina ya san hia mu biom na meda wase se wanya bre na watena ye wo kasa fidie ho na enanwumre nso ye ne wo eba be kasa na ya ba be che nimdie bia ye wo ba bia na wunim anase na wunim krampo na ebiana niam bi nye claim fa ma wan na ye ba be kirekire mu de bia ye tena sese a enye futua na ye mra ho asem na ye ba be kan ti sa bre no wa join ya ye da ase ye live o Facebook nso nti se wu pie frifia adaro ma hwehwe TV XYZ o Facebook so obetumi follow yen ho na fa djumadi watumi ahwe bi kama pa midin edi PSC o kra me na magye bedwa e wo hase ya na midi djumadi yi edi ebra free sa be kopim se no wotwe ebebo woni ye entra na ye nsua bibi emfamfa ye Ghana ye niema hodo bebre ekoso ye wo miamia hodo bebre niema bebre ekoso ebi wo ho a wonte ase enei ye be wura Shraj Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Shraj wonum adwuma wonum die no eye den na adwuma wo mu die no ede mfaso de na wo so ema me no mie no a ye wo Ghana ha sei wonum adwuma die no emu ensem no tesen ankasa ate se Shraj no ye nhada nte omonka na ewo ho yesi o bete yesi ya twe obi ko Shraj ye court na eneni nyina ye besua ewo ha sei ne mensa ka me ma me oba hofefo ba kwa nimde aye nimu ma ene wono na beboa me na afi Shraj nsensem no ya papa mo edi egu nti se wa join ya ye message line no ene wa ase no WhatsApp message no obetumi de o messages abade afa eniama hodo bebra ekoso ho Facebook no so hwa na wa share na omanfo nso atumi atew yenka na afi nsem na wonso usua no obi nso atumi esua bi mema wakwa ababiom mame nko eye me guest no so na afi mene no enko ebo enkomo ene enwumre oye Director of Public Education ewo Shraj waye dwuma ho achepa eba experience obi panti ye niema ese yesua fa Shraj ho the right person ese wono etumi ede emayen eno no Mrs Nana ye yamfoa amwa sechi ena enemene no ebo nkomo Mrs Akwaba
Inya
bibia boko de
nyame na adwo
mi hoye pa ya cho a chere kaka ejumana oh yeah na edewa fa hade small time to ana
kwa inzizi
dem not obey thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Mommy we dey my uncle kobo so straight Shraj Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice ye nim say omo Ghana ha se a wo mo ebo ye ho ban e wo kwan akwani asa bebre so obetuma kire Shraj adwuma ene emra etare Shraj ho a modidi mudwuma e wo Ghana ha se ne be ya obi a otifia wate Shraj no obetuma ati dwuma de yase.
Okay, me that's enti Shraj, it came into being on July 6th 1993.
Okay.
It is 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
That was, and it is a constitutional body. Make a constitutional body. Actually, the 1992 constitution. On ma, it may be there. It may be although oba to the NCCE to the Electoral Commission. Shraj kaho.
NCCE is at 30.
No, so it's 30 now. Parliament so it's 30.
Yeah.
Until na yeah the same age. So the constitutional framers found it wise there or there why organization be a obobo yeka human rights ye nyimpe yazi ye were rights na rights no so was a way
ye fa hu die
ye fa hu say was a way ye the obi no zemayen enti so was wo na na dey yenya institution be obotum wabo dam ye fa hu say no ho ban, and that is how we came into being. Initially, before the 1992 constitution, we had the ombudsman. And ombudsman no oka public service cases na asankote no on shadanka human rights wasam. And see the framers of the constitution were this new body now was a human rights baka ombudsman ho.
Okay.
No was a anti-corruption so baka ho.
Okay.
And to say if you human there were three main mandates: human rights, admin justice, and administrative only no in who is in moon and now administrative justice on any ombudsman.
Okay.
Equal other countries work ombudsman.
All right.
Aha yeka administrative justice.
Okay.
Now you were anti-corruption.
And
see yeah three bodies in one. Because outside Ghana you would find that they are separate bodies. You find a human rights organization standing on its own. Admin justice as a body standing on its own.
Okay.
Anti-corruption standing on its own.
Okay.
But Hagan and we find ourselves doing all these three things.
Okay.
So we are three bodies in one. And then after the years go by, what's the bishop akaka maka.
Eti ma men try na men kyerɛ mu otwi mu kakra na etifo and say ahwefo nti ase nti say ye can 3 pillars.
Yes.
Fapem makomako miensan na modi ye adwuma. Number 1 human rights.
Yes.
Ye fa hodi ekura yen as nipa ye wa ha. Mobo ho ban. Number 2 administrative justice. Administrative I say aban adwuma ni mu nsensem kwan ebe fa so atenetene.
Nanyen.
Na ejina
adwuma osra je hu.
There be say yenyina ye pese ye ti ase eti may ye direct translation. Okay, it is say aban enwumam atenetene ebe ye adwuma wo ho. And number 3 no so na sesia no em say ehia Ghana for park anti corruption say ketasehye proye ene kankan so no mo be prevent ana say mo be di dwuma bi enso
afa ho
e de afa ho
nanyen.
Okay, it is sesia ya ti ase say sraje wo ho no wono madwuma no eden kakra because sesia say oba Ghana ha your human rights issues bebre administrative justice baby wo a amanfo hu and afa anti corruption no so no say the will say ketasehye proye nya no every day and also kosoro nti enem say yen koma no minim say yantuban wi age say ye part 2
No problem.
eti ba yen komo human rights violations awodo say ye tete obi fa hodin ebre ben na sraje etume ebemo so ya kwara wo ye panyino wo ya kokora wo se wo fa hodin no ekachi kakra na se etosini kakra sraje bem sen.
Okay, me that say. Nti yambra ne chain there say eko ahohiahim and a violation bima or there a sorry na basraj. We need a complainant. So make there we need a complainant or chede sa assembly sa yara yentum yenkum. Tisa yimpakro no wa baka there osimesi I am dam and dam esi and then my badama then we have the power. It's like you have triggered tumen, then we can go ahead and do what we need to do. But if you don't come, we can't do anything. That is under human rights.
Okay.
It is the same also under admin justice. Initially we used to do everything because when the year 1993 now I Ghana yenyi baby before that yenyi baby akaka ya some violation be by baby kwa fafa.
Yeah.
At the initial stages we used to do everything. We used to do, and when I say everything I embe mpoyetara na ya sure yeroko. So that Richard Anani case sekaya under President Kufuor there was minister.
Yeah.
So there was a case after that case and Supreme Court came and said that Raj, you can't do everything. We need to lay down some rules and regulations. Into I am CI and make a a constitutional instrument na yesi ejuma.
Embrana na mudi ejuma.
Embrana yesi ejuma.
Okay. But say act na nkasa answer.
Act na answer.
Okay.
But the why you act you need to break it down into the regulations.
Okay.
Every day but we only CI into I am CI.
Okay.
Into under the new CI 67 and no that we need a complainant under our human rights mandate and under our administrative justice mandate.
But na ejuma na de mamo and man the bas and I say what really was the changer Dr. Richard Anani Asem it to me the buy.
Okay, so it was like we under our law the Supreme Court was saying we hadn't interpreted our law properly. Okay. And the Supreme Court no interpretation of the law. And to us, you interpret your law properly. Because if a year Act 456 now, it talks about the complainant. You have to make a complaint. And so if you are going to make a complaint, then obviously you need a complainant.
Okay.
Yeah, they're sorry, yeah, and echo. Yeah, on our own mandate, yeah, sorry, echo. And so what that was the decision of the Supreme Court, or the judgment, that under our admin justice, although Biba, Oba complain. Under human rights, although Biba, no Oba complain. But say if a Yembra Act 456, unfortunately I didn't bring that. I would have read that one out to you.
Okay.
If a year 456 now, under anti-corruption, it doesn't say anything about complainant. It doesn't mention a complaint that somebody should bring a complaint. So with that, say yet to radio do. And I am who papers and it has something to do with public interest. That one we can start.
Anti-corruption, no.
And anti-corruption.
Okay, it is a yasama efaketa seshane proye ho a mo amutumi tiginem
Exactly.
from the onset na mo ankasa ebi amate o radio so mate o newspaper mo ye beba ho mayenye human rights violations no. It is a see no there should be a complainant.
There should be a
complainant. Violations are what sa na ya obi sim eba because me say your domestic violence and victim support unit which is the DOFSU.
Yeah.
I know so we deal with violence na there. So my nuances no difference na there.
Okay.
And at what point na more interlocking horns?
Okay. Thank you. So there are numerous complaints which come under human rights.
Okay.
Obiwaha ose mukunete. So maintenance. We are talking about maintenance of the children or maintenance of the wife or mom sika or mufraban who school and maybe abufraba because we don't care who comes. There you abufraba, there you paying. Eba, we would listen to you. Inti ebi my papa my education or school. All these things come. And now there ebi or even inheritance under law 111. As in what one chim ye tum yeba. Really, we are not supposed to share properties and things, they be. But in Tasibi, you can walk in. Sometimes you have a problem, you don't even know where to go to. In Yihun Obia in Susu, Wasam in Chen, non Kade Faha, another Faha. You can walk into Shraj. And then you would get, you come to the complaints unit, that is at the head office, and now in the regions. And you can go to the registrar in Shraj. He will listen or she will listen to your problem. No, I can or there be a ethical GES, aha, yen because ye tum ye court. Inti somni na ye tum ye ka.
Nam baby bisa kwase more the powers of a court and I say what's the parliamentary committee or powers of a court inti nam per se clear.
So we want that one to be clear in your court.
Okay.
But we are a commission, a human rights body, working under the Paris principles because Paris principles and honor what a human rights organization should do and what they should not do.
Okay.
So we operate under the Paris principle. And that is how the organization is run. So we are not a court. But then you can come to us and bring your complaints. We have lawyers there. When you go to most of our regional offices are lawyers. So that if you have a legal problem, they will look at it. If it falls under your mandate, if it doesn't fall under your mandate, but it falls under our mandate, we would go through. We have what maybe we'll come to that. How we address issues when you bring a complaint. Now coming to domestic violence, domestic violence has a criminal component. But wherever there's an abuse, there's a right violated.
Yeah, of course.
Whenever there's an abuse, and that is how we interlock. So we can be looking at the rights which has been violated, and the police can be looking at the criminal aspect of it. In one case.
Okay, in one case, more no sano more the rights na ya violating. Say your titi will be found with the issue no. Na police for so the criminal aspect no.
Yes.
Saying.
So when it comes, mostly somebody may come to Shraj.
All right.
YM ABCD. We are looking at it. Okay, human rights. Okay, ebia nkoyindo oyedam, and maybe a public officer. Nkoyindo oyedam. But as we said, there's a criminal thing. So we will transfer or refer to DOFSU or the police.
Okay.
So and then it's like we are working hand in hand. We are looking at the progress of it because mostly what we do, because we cannot prosecute. What we do mostly will be mediation, sitting the person down, finding out that is the Impakura Ebaka Asam Etianen. What is the problem? Abentina ye ABCD. These are the laws of Ghana. Because even though we say ignorance of the law is
not an excuse,
we take it as an opportunity because we have also a mandate to educate.
All right.
So we will use that to educate you and let you know there. Ebia inyim that no you're wrong. Another atrado, because it's no abuse.
To fool we are not police for so I take issue no. No the work trim. Unto them.
Bibi them.
Okay, it's my side issues we in Ankasano. More district offices across the country.
Yes, we do.
Every district.
Almost every district. We have about 171.
171 out of
26. Yes.
Okay.
So we are getting there.
Much 30 years.
Because we don't generate funds on our own.
Yeah, mother, some more to one aban de mo budget aba. Nti budget no say slash so na say muntu me. E ho no ye be ko dakro. Dakro ye be ko sikasem no. Ye be ko eti sesia na o ka say obetuba work in no.
Yeah.
Would you advise say obi tina ware mo na say issue bi say si ya abusing ni ade onko dofs you anase omrasraj. Emu ne he na ya na process ne faster nipa kro no ho be han ntem.
Depending on the situation, we'll take it case by case.
So, my example,
so,
a classical example.
Because when you look at the Domestic Violence Act, it talks about emotional violence, it talks about sexual violence, it talks about physical, it talks about economic. So, depending on where you fall, as some now ways will feel, if you are papa when you want to, if you are the iron assault, and that kind of thing. Oh no, a police assault.
Okay.
Because assault. Battery or a police case.
Yeah.
So that one, if you come to Shraj, we'll tell you go to the police because looking at whose situation and you get better. At the end of the day, you want redress, you want a relief.
Sure.
So depending upon the relief that you are seeking, we would advise you there be a fuck police.
Okay.
So that is it. A bit economic. Wusika moye kunayer. Wusika on peda ozamon. Because him there kun mostly no maintain. Yes, Nancy myself, yes, you be. Mamma the chop money of your papa no number. Another he's preventing you from working.
Okay.
Because you have
against your will.
Against your will. So all those things, that one, please back at the on the brush charge. Because you're able to me able on shut down your police.
Shut down your police as some mediation,
exactly. At the end of it, and we would have terms of agreement.
Okay.
Into ye.
Okay.
So depending on the situation, and so we work very closely with the police.
Okay.
Because one would to an team and I now so wait him because I as in the area.
Any duplication of duties?
No, it is not. Because we don't go to court. We go to court as and when, but we don't have that prosecutorial powers now. Yes, about prosecute or your police. And with the Ghana, the police or is the republic. You are doing something wrong against the republic.
Sure.
And that is why the police, even though you may be the complainant, Obi Beriawaza, when you go to court, you won't see PSA versus Akosia. You will see the republic versus Akosia because the police are standing in for you. The police no bibia them coming and going and so they are standing in for you. The person has done something against the republic. And see, even though it is a criminal case and it is your case, police no case on your behalf to prosecute the person where we are wasn't. That is how it works. Ghana Yambran, so we can do that. It's only duplication. The police have their own mandate. Somewhere we would merge.
But to work together. But then, and yes, a Jumana police for you and run a more because mostly na education.
Education.
Now, Mammy, you call admin justice no so and non seminary saying is it say ubia ban adwuma public official say bi o teacher ni e bi o nurse ni e bi a oye adwuma wo district assembly safo no na wo mon nsem mo hwe kan na
anybody who falls under the public office or a public officer as stated by article 191 in the constitution. And also parliament has given some offices as public office. So long as you fall under that, you're a public officer. It's wasamba you go to me aka.
And some banks are public office for no what I deal with.
Ebia me promotion a delay. Me public service. I have done exhausted, and one thing that we do, which I should say, is that when you come with a complaint, we try to, especially with public officers, every organization will need grievance procedure. And CBBSA, you will go to maybe your supervisor or the Boko national opinion, now human resource until it reaches the top.
Bureaucracies.
So you are supposed to have followed all through the grievance procedure. Yeah, that's something see and the dispute.
Anye no.
Anye naba.
And it's a long process.
Not really. Not really, because also our law says that you are supposed to come within a year. Assemblies are come within a year. If you don't come within a year, then you are going to show us that ebia me started to America long process. I have started abro 1 year. Matra kwa ha, matrai wa ha, anye ye. Intina abro 1 year na maban eba, we will take it.
Okay.
And deal with it. So there and anything that happens, unfairness, maladministration, obi well okay, because impose on not corruption.
Anything. Aban adwuma bia mo to say na article 191 stipulating no say o fall within na wasem bia to me ba charge. Say bia boss no on as onye na adwuma ye obi a one issue victimization obi oba say onyane promotion na it say o say mama ne won dancer na it say na no ba ko bia mete o say but you know what to do to get what you want. Oh, a man ati bebre o masum. It's a bad sana overall boss no. Why want to complain and sana we are what they are charged. In
that case, you can come directly. So we take it case by case.
Okay.
Yes, the laws are there as a guideline, but we take it case by case or some situation because me carry there time na Justice Short or your commissioner. There was a damn time na man damn private airlines in Washasa.
Yeah.
To the passion you know. And now this airline and the lady came in and said that my boss, she was an air hostess. Sexual harassment to them America, yeah, you know what to do. Na papa na tatan. So she came to Shraj and came to complain. And there was a whole
but a private company, so
okay. So that one under human rights violation, we can do with within private companies.
Okay.
And private persons.
Okay.
So with that, we had a hearing and everything, and Commissioner for want of a better case, went or the case.
Yeah, okay.
Because they found that Papa are victimizing because she wasn't giving in to his demands for sex and
outcome near then.
As to either if mostly. Ebi ayi back at the member the me atmosphere and so damages man BB for worrying her because
you no police court
and court yeah no hona.
Oh okay.
Yeah yes, there was a full hearing because we can, apart from the mediation or education, we can have a panel hearing.
Yes, that is what I was trying to say. Say we hear cases.
We hear cases.
Court no here na. My here case every and I'm awarded damages. That is what the court does basically.
It does. But you see, you talked about nuances at the beginning.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a case which you see the court goes according to Mbrana or Dahwanara. It doesn't look at the gray areas.
Okay.
And that is where we come in. Sometimes there's a case where it is like, oh yeah, laws. But a soft law be so kind of, and that is where Shraj comes in. There was a particular case. I will mention the name of the organization and things, but the people said, you know, we have been how should I even say? What terminate appointment? What terminate appointment? They have been looking at why they even terminated the probation and they've been inquiring probation. For your probation and your appointment letter, I started Juma.
Yeah, sure.
Now they are going back into O level now, A level, your WASI, saying that you didn't do Enyawo maths and now Enyawo English, and they are using that to penalize you.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. So the people came to Shraj and said that, look, we think that we are being victimized because there are some people also in our same situation who are still working. So why us? Why us? So we look at the nuances inside, which sometimes a court, because or court strictly, it depends on the judge anyway, because mostly some judges you get who believe in, they look at the spirit of the law. Law, no, that one, what were the framers thinking about? What was the thinking behind the law, even though we can see that ABI XYZ is a station. But what was the thinking behind? And Sana was Orabaka the XYZ is a station. There are some judges to who go strict, what's XYZ or a station 9? That is how I go. I'm looking at the law. French, what the framers thought about and so what we call the spirit of the law. So it depends on the judge when you go to court. How no so nenta ase ote. But we, when you come We will look, because we are looking at human rights, human being. Exactly. And that is where sometimes some people will come to us because we will look at these gray areas. Then most of the French, the law says A, and that is it. I'm not deviating. What the law says is what I am doing.
Of course. Some way, Obi baby say issues need be bro. Now no be nkofo bi kwa port or baby almost say contract staff na ya terminate your appointment na dey bebre. Obi o see o minister me dey court manager. But one ma yati say asem bi say si charge for mo bie mo pono mo e wo ho a obi abetumi aba adwuma mu fairness nye adwuma ne ade a motumi gina na maka boko ansakra na court asem kra bema ebetumi abem. Obi baby say na asem ne ba Morika no entem so no eti saying swiftness no ye ko commercial breaker ba ye ba me ma okwan na wa kirikiri mu na ye bo awura admin justice num na afa yakwa ko wi anti corruption abushafo ye guso twetwe nkobode afa sraje for wonum dwumadi a ewo eye Ghana ha sei na ye bo ho komo no ma ye nko home esu tew ye ba to aso ma wo say amanfo twen corruption no ho nsem te sen ye be wura ho ye ba sisia.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehinfa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre, menya bosia ato taxi foforo. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yamamwa kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ya wonhyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekuokuro bosia, susu account, ɛne daso wɔ hɔ savings account, me bada chain savings account, ɛne de akeka ho. Press Suhum Rural Bank was 034229186. Na wɔn nso wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Me damwase.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Afọ yasama makwa ba biom ye ne nana yamfo sechi amoa sechi ena ebo enkomo na mami eye director de ma public education na wasraje nti omo na ese wo mutuyefo e kire ya ade a edwuma e fa srajo ye dika di nkomo de afa domestic violence na say human rights violations ni ade na fe administrative justice ni ade wote se wo ka se uye edwuma na se fairness ni edwuma ye tete wo kwan bi so ni ade utumi dwane ba sraje fo ho wo mbeko e de aje enu nti na wo no mo ete wo eti na me bisa se e ya na ho nsem no ete se e ba obi wo ho a ya terminating appointment ye nya terminate sa na we amfa kwa papa so nebia 1 month otife 1 GP 2 months otife 1 GP strategy nko kan asem ni wie na onya ne damages no ebia na koma ku no eno ho nsem etesen ntem so ben na wo mo nsem no etume efa nana akwa babium good eti sesia no strategy ye hu ne mo betumi aye de abo amanfo eya na ne ntem no etesen.
Okay, we try and do it as fast as we can.
Okay.
But we need the cooperation of other side and other party. Nti be o about your letter. In here or comment. So maybe with that, let me go through. So when you come complaining, is what some bar, or they letter for your comments. Yakade oh or simesi PSA obi abaka ABCD afa wo. What do you have to say?
Much rockrata come on.
Rockrata yes ko. No so as no comment me yakade comment no as baba. As no comment no ba yes a bottle complaint na as aba no ho.
Okay.
And then sometimes if you need, because we try to do it within 3 to 6 months, but it depends on the cooperation of the other side.
Oh, okay. Because
the people who are or in Casa, just sure, and that's okay. That is why we have investigators or case officers who will go, when we are not hearing, who will go to the other side and say, look, we have written to you, we have sent reminders, and someone can, what do you have to say?
And no, sir, no quite best when I'm a fast chinipa croneba.
We have, the law has given us the power to issue subpoenas.
Oh, okay. To send a court, so we can issue a subpoena if you are not coming. Okay.
And even subpoena documents. Yeah, EBA. That's a document be unless it's of public. It has security issues attached to it. But if it's not, so we can issue the subpoena. The law gives us the right to enter into any premises to go and do our investigations because we have an investigative officers. Ashraj. So to go and do investigation. So even when you come, we are already doing some investigations behind. We can talk to anybody.
I see.
So long as it's related to the case, we can call anybody.
Abra ni pakono into me build the barriers build
the barriers and we will use the law. If you are going to be an obstruction, we will take it to court.
Okay.
Because you are supposed to. We are coming not for Samaba. We need your cooperation to get to the bottom of the issue.
I see.
So our investigators have that. So we are holding your ID card. You are holding Tinama bailiff or serve letter. So we have bailiffs.
Okay.
Or serve a letter or the agent letter. Anje not to Chana or Kobaka there or Smith Wanje, but Mr. Tunin close enough. I tell them 7. My 7 to get 17 because Anje and I will you threw it away or you beat the person up.
Sraj, fairness ben amodi ejuma because obi betumi anya for instance mo Sraj wo ho obi betumi aba report e bia district chief executive bi abai krachi penny and as e bia minister and as mpo MPB. How fair can Sraj be say obeka asem no pepepe obetumi ama your classical examples e bia asem bi say see with public official e known to Ghana for mode periperi ye ejuma.
Okay. Before I even answer that, I will go to Article 225 of the Constitution, which talks about our independence.
Okay.
Because if you have followed our history, since inception, 1993, till date, we have tried to be independent, regardless of government or Tanado, regardless of the fact that a constitutional government or taxes wasn't my amendment. Regardless of that, we treasure our independence very much. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the media is saying and the fanfare around it. When the case comes to Sraj, given more classical example is a DC and now a minister. The first thing is that it goes through, depending on the should I say the bigness or the it might go directly to the commissioner or the commission members.
Okay.
Who will look at it? They will still find out from you. Or Abaka ABCD. They need to get, because the law deals with the Odi Alterum Partum. I have to be given a right of hearing.
Okay. Okay.
I need to hear from you. I need to give you the platform to come and defend yourself.
To be a money platform,
because we are all equal before the law. That is what the Constitution says.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who you are. You come, I'll say, you have come to complain about me. Okay, so commission should come to me and say that this is what you have said about me. Also, defense in that. Then you will say, and you can come with your lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, no problem. So it will be back and forth, and as that with every case, whether it is in the court or it's in the commission, we will need to raise issues, because when we raise issues in the case, that is what helps us to solve the problem. So that after the paperwork, you have replied, I have sent my response, that kind of thing. Then the case officer will sit down, or maybe in this case, if it is a high-level person, the commissioner will sit down. So if you remember, I think a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, President Akufo-Addo sent, there was this PPA case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. J.
He brought it.
ABAJ or something.
Yes. So the commissioners will sit down. They will do the back and forth to them and marking. It's the same way.
Why not they buy?
It was the president who sent a complaint, should I say, for want of a better word, that we should do, this is what they are saying, we should do our investigations and come out with a decision. We have written a decision. He has taken us to court. There were 2 cases, actually, 2 in 1, kind of. He's taken us to court on 1 because he doesn't agree with some of the decisions which came out.
What are some of the decisions about
it was like he was bad. We recommended. Then one man out from public service for 5 to 10 years, so says, you know, and those kind
that was near strategy for choice.
That is what
Strad said.
Exactly.
For just after 5 years.
Just after 5 years. And also, there was a conflict of interest case because we are the only institution who can deal with conflict of interest.
Okay.
So looking under, because if you're a public officer, when you look into the Constitution, under Chapter 24, it talks about the Code of Conduct. A code that we are supposed to work with. And we are the only ones today, access declaration. It is Shraj. The law has given it to Shraj. And you have to declare and declare somebody can come to Shraj. So we do all those kind of things. We have been given a lot of powers, but the money is small. Okay. So going back, so you see, we will raise the issues. It is the issues when we raise them that will help. When you are able to answer all the issues, then it solves the case. If you ask any lawyer or any judge, they'll tell you. When the things come, so you realize in court, they have this summons of direction stage or the CMC, the conference management, whatever. When you raise the issues, because it is like, we are back at the PSC on Shem, on Befientam, so on and so forth. We have listened to your side of the story. There might be a reason why and now in Befientam and things. So how do we solve, if we are able to solve what may be your problem, why you are not coming home, or why you are not looking after her, we will solve the problem. That is how it is. If you ask any law person, that is. So we need to raise issues. So when the back and forth comes, the paperwork comes, so we've gotten everything. We have done our investigations. We do investigations. People have gone behind the scenes. They've been able to gather a lot of evidences to help to confirm or not to confirm the allegations. Because when it comes, it's the allegations. On your set in stone.
But to me, investigation, so back to the PPA issue, no. It became an issue. Ghana for be brinana your interest womunti judgment ne buy and as a modern recommendations buy no. Yes, more state institution you can be sued. To be sued am for. It was sue mo. Ora ABAJ sue mo say monye den.
He is not agreeing and saying
to 5 years now must say
and then also some other things about his saying they talked to people, we talked to people, we didn't talk to him properly, we gave, you know, so our investigations, he's saying he wasn't given a fair hearing.
Okay, no. Court. Okay, so that brings us to the anti-corruption there, because looking at this case, no, it was conflict of interest and idea will free say corruption related, because of your investigations now Manase Azuri na say I to say one kasa na we penye aban koto bibia wo mom na procurement be so aboa say bia enkosi no wa fa nchen na wa kwete company na wa wo de bede na unya na I to say unu fiefo na moye enti obi be kasa corruption related. Ghana have public officers be issues bia basa emu ne hepa na motumi deal with that and no ebe kasa oh Shraj landmark case ya clear no kama bibia fine ama Ghana fo nyina we omakoma atom yem.
Okay, so we'll go back to 1996 when Rawlings was still president. When he was still president, there was a very high level case about presidential advice on cocoa affairs.
Okay.
And afterwards, the government came out with a white paper. We then also the Minister of Interior at that time and the Minister of Food and Agric during Rawlings' administration. The
advisor on cocoa,
presidential advisor on cocoa affairs, the Minister of Interior,
and then the Minister for Food and Agriculture.
Yes.
What was the case?
The case I have forgotten slightly.
Okay.
I don't have the details about what we did. Was we cleared the presidential staffer after we did our investigations. Somebody brought in a complaint. We cleared the presidential
about
staff
corruption.
About corruption.
Okay.
Because whenever it's high level people, it is we misuse the public purse. We misuse it. But the Minister of Food and Agric and the Interior, we said they should be indicted for corruption and illegal acquisition of wealth.
Okay.
And also abuse of office.
Okay.
I mean, those were the things.
Abuse of office. Nice. Or the office no. Or the
when you
office now, office now holding class.
Well,
what abuse your office though? Edenya niema. Ena kwanya fa so nya ejapade enso no krampo. You only say questionable and papa so.
Because it's in a public officer. It's a kind of using or ye nyimpa public no.
Ye nyina yesika.
Ye nyina yesika. And to say using ye ya. And now Tiambra. And so then we have it there to go into it. And so we came out with a decision like that. And then Rawlings' administration, they issued a white paper. They issued disagreeing with, because you see, the one thing that we cannot do, even when you look under your anti-corruption mandate now, when we have finished all our investigations, we are supposed to recommend to the AG, the Attorney General. This is or the Auditor General. This is our recommendation. This is what we have found. And they, because
Attorney General or Auditor General?
Auditor General.
Okay, based on the issue, yeah.
Based on the issue. And they are supposed to run with it.
Okay.
Looking at what we have said, what we have done, and decide to do the prosecution or otherwise.
Okay.
And see, yeah.
My recommendation.
Yeah.
Yes, me to my office. In sure way, and yes, say, yeah, they mayen. Na fe me se me pensuo we me pe bibi fofora ne boy den change no na ma fa ban sika na me de ato se me na me ye panyi wo office onti na ye de asem na abashra ya kan we si PSA ni oye no etiamra oman ni sika ye de bo office no ho ka no wachim akwa ye bibi e ensem fata nti shraje se PSA ontumi enhold the public office biom eya edru sa level na eye hwan na se wo implement se shraj mo decision way
okay, so depending or looking at what the example that you have given, whoever brought in organization or say, let's say with the president on, we need to tell him, Mr. President, this is our recommendation. Since he's the one who appoints and disappoints ministers or persons, it is he who have to look at it and do what he has to do. Because we have said it. If it is the AG, because the AG is the one who takes people to court, because even with the police, they fall under the AG's sort of, depending on the prosecution of cases. Because that is why sometimes they go to the Attorney General for advice. That this is the case here, so and so. And the Attorney General, who is also the Minister of Justice, will look at it and decide whether this should proceed to court or what. So when we have finished, depending on the issues, he has to do, if it is prosecution, he has to run with it.
The Attorney General can file a nolly prosequi.
Yes, he
can. Interested in the case again. Yeah,
that is how.
So it's way apart from way near setbacks are hodra Emma muye juma we because akwa to say technicalities within the law. Say yamfa mranye juma mrano obiye juma kopem ha. So be taken it from there. Now the court next level. After that, so be taking it to another next level. Into your say 3 steps or something. Straja any day. Attorney General so any day. Maybe you could do court na cha 5 years, 10 years na sem no da so drag or court. Na se mo tine chire mo amhwe se moye watchdog of your moral fiber ewo oman mo no na mo feel say.
I think you've answered the question within questionnaire B7, because if we have spent state resources to do all this work and it goes to court, but you see the thing is that most people don't realize about the court is that sometimes the delay is not intentional. So sometimes we being lawyers, or most of us being lawyers, we understand the court processes where most ordinary Ghanaian are on shutdown court and now when read the law on taxi. The court delay in bracket, there are many things which may delay a case. One is, according to the laws, the civil procedure laws or the criminal laws, I can bring in an application. You've sued me in court. I can bring in an application. The judge is supposed to stay on the main issue and listen to application. Or listen to application or the other side and no.
Okay.
Na yanko main case no do.
Okay.
Ono da ho.
Okay. One of the instances.
That is one.
Okay.
Ebi wo hwa ebia me sue amba.
Okay.
So I go for default judgment.
I'm not actually asking you to defend the court
I'm not
anyway,
the court,
but then
but I'm talking.
I just want to know senior and Namusi Fili say let us use the Nolly Prosequi.
Okay.
How can Straja be Juma sa meaning I mean to mean Kai readily near issue be a bass I be attorney general say my filing me interested. But then BB Sabi to me see I am more feeling saying apart from that near be setbacks in be mo sha na amame raho say juma mo ye pa de abo Ghana na efe ko du ba bia na ebasa.
I'm finding it I won't say the year raho because we understand the system. Yes, it can be frustrating that I juma and I even edu pointer then they enter a nolly prosequi, but that is not the only because when they enter a nolly prosequi there's nothing anybody can do. The judge has to stop. Everything ceases. So it can be frustrating in some certain way.
Can Strat see you again?
When it's a nolly prosequi, we can't see you again. We can't even, you see, we go to court when we have done it, when we have done a panel hearing and we have given a decision, a judgment, it is a decision of the commission. The party can take it to court or on the other side and on enforce it. As you can go to court for enforcement.
Okay.
You can go to court for enforcement. Or the other side can go and say, I am unhappy, I don't agree with the decision Shraj has given. So court, Munsan Musham, or tell the commission, because we have the powers of review. So the commissioner can sit again.
And review the case.
And review the cases and either confirm the earlier decision or disagree with the earlier after he has done the review. So we have those powers of review. Or you can go to court, the High Court go in and say, I don't agree with Shraj. Court, and give your decision.
Ha, Ebushafo. And come no more de say ahode amwo na ye issues ni bi asset declaration anti-corruption no ye nwewe no ma me sisi ladapa ni issue no abamo ho.
On my ho.
Obi am ye complain.
On my ho.
OSP ho nti mo you okay?
That is why we are should I say sister organizations. We can't do everything. Mama,
my part 2 na enhwe no. Na enhwe asset declaration. Ye wo report wo hwa ya bobo aban penny for MPs and ministers a wo monya asset declarations asem na kwa kusi sen. I'll be very glad say be part 2 of this conversation into unimi producer and kasanafe yemfa no ntoto so. Me da se pass o baye. O last word na yempo.
I will tell everybody that your service is here free.
Yes, very necessary.
It is very necessary. And we are in all the 16 regional capitals.
Okay.
And as I said, 170
districts.
We are hoping to open more.
Okay.
So you can walk into Shraj. Just walk into it. Or send an email. Or call. We would listen to you.
Okay. Matthew Bushafo, Saudi adwin de chia obehwin show frau nti mayemfansi director of public education was Shraj eye nana amwa sechi ana sechi amwa nana amwa sechi wono na director of public education was Shraj wonna ye no ebon komo na enwumre me hwe say yebesa atena se biom na bia next week yensa mon komo na enfa asset declaration ho yesi aban paw ni paso ma yedwuma ese o kire se me wosika se me wo dan se me wo dan se o kire bi ukonya bibibi na se eboro so a yehunu kwan a yebefa so aka no sansem no eba wono mo eka ne sen we nyina yensem afoforo a yebetumi adi ho enkomo yara wase semutumi ehwe ewo fie na mo so mo adwen kire no WhatsApp number no mo nkoso amfamra bibie ni amofrɛ ya anamo send ya WhatsApp message a yebe respond na afi issue kra mo pese ye kan wasem no ye betumi aba be kan wasem asedan koma team ni nyina Ralph ni team Emmanuel mo ni afi Alex mo nyina ebo ejuma na afi camera Willie wa ha na afi Osofo Prince na Elvis ni omo maka ni nyina ye da mo nyina asem editor by Jemfi me producer ye Efia Amponsa owusu coke efia coke wono ena hihye ejuma de we ma me de ebrel medin edi PSC okra your honorable with that constituency nyankopon ya doma da se ne ye be se hia